Reconnective healing is an art, it's a science, and it's a philosophy. It doesn't have a philosophy, it is a philosophy. It is easily learnable, easily teachable, because it's not really healing that you're teaching. What you're doing is you're sharing a transmission of the energy, light, and information throughout the room of the students, and then showing them how to become familiar with it, to recognize it, to work with it. It's not an energy healing technique. It doesn't require steps, doesn't require rituals. It doesn't have a basis in fear where you have to protect yourself from negative energy. It's clean, it's clear, it's grounded. It's practiced by lay people around the world. It's practiced by doctors in hospitals, as well as in their own private practices. Reconnective healing it's a return to an optimal state of vibration, an optimal state of balance, in which our imbalances seem to vibrate out of the system. It can be understood, and is understood, as a fully comprehensive spectrum of energy, light, information, healing frequencies. The first basic element being energy, because, well, everything is energy. Everything that we are is energy. Energy is our essence. It's organic to us because it is us. It's our actual physical body. Light is a resonance and a communication with the frequencies between the universe and us. And the information of the energy, light, and information spectrum comes through the very interaction and an entrainment of the energy and the light. It's tangible, it's measurable, you can actually feel it. We teach you how to discover, access, become aware of your relationship with the reconnective healing frequencies. It completely transcends energy healing and all of its myriad complex techniques. It's not a therapy, it's not a treatment. Doesn't focus on symptoms. It focuses on a return to balance. It's so much more than therapy and treatment. There's no diagnosis. We simply access with and interact with the reconnective healing frequencies, bringing about changes, healings that are often fairly instantaneous and have a tendency to be lifelong. Science is continuing to explore how it works, trying to discover how reconnective healing works. Their studies have already confirmed the existence of reconnective healing. They're observing what it's doing. They're learning to figure out how. It's been documented in a dozen and a half international studies so far, maybe more, some of which are published, some of which are waiting to be published. When the reconnective healing frequencies sort of entrain with our, what you may think of as an energy body, we emit and vibrate at a higher level of light. It's been shown to restructure our very DNA, or as I like to say, to reconnect our very DNA. It results in the emission of higher levels of light that are more harmonic, more coherent. Stanford professor emeritus Dr. William Tiller, who's famous for his many studies around the world, he explains that when reconnective healing, when the information carried through the reconnective healing frequencies is introduced, it creates coherence, harmony, and order, a return to order in the system. In other words, a greater harmony, a greater balance within us. So what's the reconnection? It's an accelerated exchange of this energy, light, and information found in the reconnective healing frequencies. It is a focused formation to connect basically three systems. The ley lines that encircle the planet and the globe, the meridian lines on our bodies, often used by acupuncturists, and tying us in to a universal energy system, sometimes referred to as a universal grid system. The reconnection is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It ties us back into a timeless network or a timeless system of intelligence, Jokingly, I often say it should come with a warning. It says, caution, the reconnection may radically alter the course of your life. Now, that's not really accurate. What it will do is it won't alter the course of your life, but it has a tendency to rapidly throw you onto your life path, your life mission, which may very well be the course you feel that you're already on. And very often, it's a course you haven't even dreamt of. We have to understand that the world and all of these manifestations are reflections of us. It's easy to want to go out and send a healing to a country, send a healing to a situation, send a healing to a house or to a land or to a government. The reality is when we share healings one-on-one as human beings, we start making better choices and decisions, even in whom we empower, in governments who make those choices and decisions, or who we remove from power for making certain choices and decisions. It's like looking into the mirror. The world is a reflection of who we are. If we don't like what we see in the mirror, it is most likely not because the mirror is broken. When we try to heal these reflections, we're working on the symptoms. When we try to heal these reflections, it's like a woman applying makeup to the mirror itself. It might look all right if she doesn't move, breathe, or live. But once reality comes into play, you see the artificial separation. When we share healings one-on-one, this is where we begin to change the world. Children learn so much more easily because they don't come in with the ego of thinking that they already know the answers. When we believe that we already know the answers, we filter everything through the answers that we think that we know, and we tend to limit the amount of information we're able to take in. Children don't have that. Children don't come in with artificial fears. They learn the healing, they play with it, they access it immediately and beautifully. They're not doing crazy little things like trying to brush negative energy off of themselves and spray themselves down with alcohol. They're not living in fear. They're living in the excitement of love and awe and wonder and discovery. Oftentimes what we do, a few days ago, just this Friday night, we brought up someone from the audience who was unable to raise her arms past about, if she were a clock, it would be 2:45, and or 9:15, depending on how you view it. And then, although she and everyone else in the audience expected that I was going to do a healing on this woman, I didn't. I brought up a girl who was 7 years old. Never read the book, of course. Never studied healing. She was a little nervous to come up at first. I mean, there were 900 people in the room. And she had to come up on stage. But we showed her how to feel this in her hands, how to find it, how to play with it. And then we let her work with the woman who couldn't move her arms. And within moments on stage, in front of the eyes of the 900 people there, the woman regained her full range of motion. Something she hadn't regained even though she had gone to doctors, chiropractors, physical therapists, osteopaths, and the 7-year-old girl, in moments, facilitated the healing for this woman. I don't know which is more exciting, the effect that children have on the world, or just the state of beauty that I experience watching children learn this. I remember landmarks along the way, but I think here I was in one small little chiropractic office on a corner of a street in Los Angeles. And now the work that has come through has affected millions. But it's not me. You know what I really am for it, I think? I'm the mouth of the work. I'm the person who speaks. I'm the face that people think of and associate with it. But I'm not the work. I'm not the gift. But I'll tell you this. There's so much to do all the time that I'm so focused on that sometimes I forget to look back and say, look what's been accomplished. Look what's been accomplished. It's truly amazing, let me tell you. This is not what I'd planned for myself. I didn't study healing. I didn't try to go into healing. Really, as I say, somewhat jokingly, I left my office on a Thursday night thinking I was a doctor. I came back in on a Monday and I was something else. My parents always told me that I was something else, but this is probably not what they had in mind.